Hey Loonies, Sailor Utama-kun here, bringing you the next in the series of Sailor Moon. Someone said for me to continue Sailor Moon. I am thinking of redoing these though. I've been watching a lot of reaction videos, and while it wouldn't be a genuine first time reaction, I am thinking of doing something like that instead and getting my comments as I watch the episode instead. If that's something you would be interested in, please let me know. We have progressed into Sailor Moon R, which is season 2. Some people speculate the R stands for romance. Some people speculate it stands for returns. In the original anime, it could definitely stand for returns, because in the manga, the whole girls losing their powers and forget their memories, rather, it was all bullshit. That never fucking happened. They do give up their transformation pens and all that shit, but they do not lose their memories of each other. So R is actually split into 2 arcs. Now this disc here that we're going to be covering, you see we got Luna and Artemis on the cover for some strange reason or another. This disc here covers episodes 47 to 54, I believe. I will have to double check that. And get this out of my way. But Sailor Moon R is split into 2 arcs. In the original anime, because they needed to give Naoko time to write the manga. So before we get to the actual manga arc, we got a filler arc, which I believe is 12 episodes. So this disc will entirely be those 12, the filler episodes. Now, I didn't entirely mind the filler as a kid. Looking back at it now, it was a thing that they rehashed so many fucking times in the anime, it was ridiculous. They actually rehash it in season 3 with Uranus and Neptune. So basically you've got these 2 siblings, which, not that I'm saying that Uranus and Neptune are siblings, they're lesbian lovers, but in the dub, they were made cousins. And there's an episode in season 3 where Usagi is all over Haruka, and Mamoru is more like, you know, I don't want to say flirting, but kind of, not all over, but really appreciative of Michiru. And this happens in this filler arc too, with the 2 siblings. And when you realize that, you're just like, what the flying fuck? And I don't remember if it's said in the sub. That's why I want to actually maybe go back and just rewatch this and like let me know if you want me to do that, and I will literally redo all of my videos. Like, this will be the last one I do in this style, and I will just redo all of them, and you'll get my comments on it as I'm watching the episode. But I don't remember if it's said in the sub, but in the dub, these 2 aliens literally mention that they're working for Queen Beryl in the Negaverse. He's like, huh? Okay. So, to get this thing started, we got episode 47, which is called Moon Returns, The Mysterious Aliens Appear. Now, this weird asteroid rock thingy crashes onto Earth. And before I go any further, always remember, take these with a grain of salt. Sorry, not sorry. Love Sailor Moon, but the 90s anime is royally fucked. And you see basically got the whole gang back together, and like nobody knows each other. The only people that remember, and if you want to call them people, are Luna and Artemis. Like, Usagi's making snide comments that she never would make about Ami, about Makoto. I don't think she even interacts with Rei and Minako. And she makes snide comments about Mamoru, like just like it was back in the beginning of the series. And it's just like, really? We're fucking going here again? And then the next day, these two aliens, who are Ale and An, Alan and Anne in the dub, real original, they appear at Usagi's school. An is in the same grade as Usagi and the other girls, and Ale is a grade above them, at least in dub standards. Now, their choice of attack, like, this is, like, were they inspired by fucking Cardcaptor Sakura? Because they have cards where they fucking summon, like, Yoma. And, of course, Naru's the target, because, of course, she is. Like, it's literally episode 1, season 1 all over again. And Usagi, like, Luna forces her to remember who she is. And she's just like, yeah, no more fighting, all this shit. And, like, now she's the only Sailor Senshi again. Luckily, it doesn't last long. We go on to episode 48 for Love and for Justice, Sailor Guardians once again. There's this movie screening shit. I can't even remember what some of the Guardians are because they're that so fucking lame and stupid. I remember more of like their comedic cheesiness in the dub than I remember them as characters, because they were very unforgettable. The Doom and Gloom girls were more memorable yokai than the freaking Guardians. Okay? I said that. So basically, as if you can probably imagine, I'm not going to have a lot to say about these because the episodes themselves is just, I don't have a lot to say about it. There's not much to say about it. So, Usagi, the yokai Guardian shows up. All the girls are there at the audition. Usagi didn't make the cut. Surprise, surprise. She transforms, tries to save the girls, and they're like, we have to help her somehow. And Luna's like, well, you can help her. Luna mind meld, blah, 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 blah. It's Sailor Senshi again, and here we go. Gang's all back together. We're moving on to episode 49, which is For Whom is the White Rose, the Moonlight Knight appears. This is the biggest fuck you to Japanese culture. You have a Japanese fucking man and you have him dress, and like Mamoru says it the best in the dub, Shika Bad Dad. That's literally what Mamoru calls this projection of himself. Because yeah, spoilers, the White Knight is fucking, the Moonlight Knight is fucking Mamoru's spirit protecting Usagi. Which is cute. It's fucking adorable. But they fucking couldn't come up with a better design. I like that he throws white roses. But it this episode's really touching though, because if I'm remembering right, this is when Makoto's friend gets hurt by a Guardian and she donates blood, and the Moonlight Knight is the one that saves their ass. And it was a really strong one too, and like they don't really focus on it, but like that's why I said this shit is like fucking Cardcaptor Sakura, because you got these fucking Guardians, and I just I can't. I'm sorry if this review reaction, whatever the frick you want to call it, seems half-assed, but that's literally how I freaking feel about this whole season with the Makai tree. It is so lazy. It is so half-assed put together. The only good shining points are when each Sailor Senshi gets their upgrade, and all 5 of them get it, and they basically get an episode to showcase on themselves. That is the only good part about this season. And these are powers that they got in the manga anyways. And it's just, everyone bitches and complains and moans about Crystal not only being the Usagi show, which, sorry to burst your bubble, the series is called Sailor Moon, not Sailor Moon and the Sailor Senshi. It's going to focus on Sailor Moon. It's going to focus on Tuxedo Mask, who is her future husband. And it's going to focus on Chibiusa, who is her future daughter. But the girls get their own chance to shine, especially in the side stories. They all have a side story. I mean, Minako has her own fucking manga. You want to see a whole thing about Minako? Read Codename Sailor V. Ray has a side story, which is disturbing and creepy as fuck. Ami has a side story, which actually got adapted to OVA episode. And Makoto has a side story. They're all really well done. But, anyways, I got off fucking track. Where the fuck was I? Episode 50 is Usagi's Crisis. The tiara stops working. This one I actually remember more. This is when Usagi and Mamoru end up on a quote-unquote double date in a virtual reality game with Alan on. And it's fucking ridiculous and pointless. And, like, I can't remember if it's said in the sub, but in the dub, Usagi is, like, confused at the White Knight, the Moonlight Knight. I keep calling him the fucking White Knight. The Moonlight Knight and Mamoru are there at the same time. Because she was so sure it was him. There's some funny moments because what makes this episode funny is because Usagi's father and brother are here too. Because, you know, this is right up Shingo's alley. But for whatever reason, Usagi's tiara stops working. They don't explain why. It's just, it's complete and utter bullshit. Other than it's supposed to be plot armor that it's time for her to get a new upgrade. Because the tiara was her finisher. Besides Moon Heal and Escalation, which she does not have access to because magically the Crescent Moon Wand vanished. So that was her only means of attack. In the manga, Usagi has a lot more powers than just that. So episode 51 is a new transformation, Usagi's power up. This one is a really good one. This is Usagi's episode where she gets her new power up. She gets her new brooch, all that shit. The girls are on a school field trip with Haruta and, you know, Molly, sorry. Naru and Umino are there as well. And, like, it's cherry blossom time. It's super sweet. The yokai fucking Cardian looks like freaking Setsuka Sakurazuka for anyone that knows Clamp. And I'm sorry that you can never fucking unsee that now. Appropriately so that it looks like her because we're in a freaking cherry blossom grove. So Usagi tries to save everyone. All the girls are getting their energy zapped by the cherry blossoms. Usagi gets pulled into a portal, Luna too. And she ends up back on the Moon Kingdom with her mother. And her mother puts the silver crystal inside of her broken brooch that the yokai broke. And she gets to activate Moon Crystal Power Makeup. There's actually a flub of this later on in the dub where she says Moon Star Power. I always thought that was cool. I don't know why. It always bugged me that she never said star at any point in time. I guess it makes sense, but, you know. I used to make up attacks and transformation things for them all the time. She also gets the... I can't think of the freaking Japanese name for it right now. Cutie Moonrod. There it is. And gets the ability of Moon Princess Halation. I always liked the design of the Cutie Moonrod. It's one of my favorite weapons of hers. And the music, at least in the dub, was always my favorite. I don't know why. It was a bop. Like, I cannot stand the whitewashing. I cannot stand the censorship. But one thing I will say about the dub, it had some bopping music. So episode 52 is the targeted kindergartners, Venus to the rescue. So this is Minako's episode. And so basically, Minako meets up with this kindergartner who's obsessed with Sailor Moon. She has a Sailor Moon on her raincoat. She's obsessed with her. And Minako's like, well, what about Sailor Venus? And, like, that's where you start to see the Minako that I don't like start to shine through. Minako was always a loner and a badass. Not this ditzy blonde idol. She was a bit of a ditz in Codename Sailor V, but after she woke up as Sailor Venus after having her heart broken by Ace, she grew up. But this is where you start to see the Minako I don't like, and it's just I cannot. But it's really a good episode. So Al and An are targeting kindergartners for energy for their tree now, thinking like, oh, young kids, that will give it good energy, blah 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 blah. And you know, Minako goes on the bus to try to protect them. And Usagi, we get to see the disguise freaking pen! Yay! I think this is actually the last appearance of it until Minako uses it in season 3, which is bullshit because she has her own disguising item, which we'll get into when we watch Crystal. And so Usagi's having trouble with this freaking Cardian who looks kind of like a rehash of one of the 7 rainbow crystal carrier Yomas. He's a vulture that boxes pretty. He's a vulture, but he just doesn't box. So Venus unlocks her power, which is Venus Meteor Shower, and we never really get to see her use this attack much, but it's a beautiful, fucking gorgeous attack, and it's powerful. It's her awakening as Sailor Venus for real, and that's Sailor Venus. Venus was my favorite when I was a kid, until I met a certain someone else. So episode 53 is Mamoru and Usagi's babysitting mayhem. Al-Anon failed on the kindergartner, so now they're going on to babies. Babies have a lot of energy that they don't know what to do with, and they're defenseless. One of the babies is spared by his mother. And yes, they think it's a boy, but it's really a girl. They think it's a girl, but it's a boy, or whatever it is. And Mamoru offers to babysit for him because I guess they know this family or whatever. Oh, and Venus's attack wasn't Venus Meteor Shower. That's a dub name. It's Crescent Beam Shower. Sorry. So, in Usagi, in her newest ploy to try to get close to him again, to try to get him to remember, she goes to help him. An shows up thinking like, you know, oh shit, that's their baby. Foreshadowing! In the dub, for whatever reason, when it's edited out, but the baby boy pees on her. He makes this thing saying that he threw up on her. Like, what? You can't say pee? Like, babies pee. Like, all kids know that. Like, I used to babysit my cousin, and more than once, I saw him pee on my mom and on me. Like, it happens. And I was babysitting him when I was pretty young. Like, he was born when I was 8, so I knew. But it leads on to the final confrontation. This is when Ami gets her upgrade, when they're fighting the Yoma, which is a bird, I think, this time. And hers is Shaban Spray Freezing, which it's nice to finally see her get an offensive attack. And it's nice to see her tap into her ice powers, which she will get later on. Like, everyone always says that both Mercury and Neptune are water. Essentially, they're not. Mercury controls elements of the water. Like, she can do fog, she can do water, she can do ice. Neptune is straight up the freaking ocean. Two different things. Okay, and to wrap up this one, we've got episode 54. The School Festival is for Me, Queen Ray's song. I can't remember the name of Mars's attack in Japanese. I know it's Firebird Strike in the dub. I cannot remember what the hell the name of it is in the freaking sub. Let's see if this page tells me. But yeah, this one, there's a festival at Ray's school. Alan and Ann get convinced to be dressed up as aliens for whatever reason. Oh, it's Fire Soul Bird. Is the name of it. Couldn't think of the name of it. So yeah, this was based on an episode that happens in the Black Moon arc. There is a festival at Ray's school, but for whatever reason they pushed it to here. And she's the fortune teller, blah blah blah. It gets wrecked by a Cardian. Ray had written music that gets ruined. The siren is like sapping all of her friend's strength. Like, she gets Ray first while she's singing before she's transformed. And then she gets all the other senshi while they are transformed. Ray transforms, deals with it, and like, she's like, oh man, my fire power can't work on something that's water based, and that's when she unleashes Fire Soul Bird, which is a phoenix, which is foreshadowing for something much, much later in season 5. I don't really have much to say. We're going to get to Jupiter's on the next part. That is, unless, of course, you guys want me to do this the new way. So what I would do is you would hear me talk and you would see the episode with, the screen, with the menu screen overlaid over it so I wouldn't get copyrighted. And who knows, maybe you would see me talking over it. If that is something you want me to do, let me know, because that's how I would do everything else going forward. And I would rewatch all of these all over again because, like I said, I want to try to revive this channel. I want to do something fun with it. Let me know if that's what you want to see. Until then, peace.